Type of sentences. What is sentence? A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. There are four main types of sentences: simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, compound complex sentence. Simple sentence. What is simple sentence? Simple sentence consists of one independent clause, contains a subject and a verb, and it may also have an object and modifier. Example: we always eat dinner together. My friend and I made popcorn and watched a movie. Compound sentence. What is compound sentence? A compound sentence consists of two or more independent clauses. Each of these clauses could form a sentence alone. There are three ways to make a compound sentence connecting the two independent clauses: coordinating conjunction, adverbial conjunction, and semicolon. Example: he was really sick, but he did not go to see a doctor. I did not read the instruction carefully, therefore I could not assemble the table properly. He was really sick, semicolon, he did not go to see a doctor. Compound sentence creation using coordinating conjunction. Fanboys. Coordinating conjunction is called fanboys. It is total 7: for, and, nor, but, or, yet. So, always we need to use comma before coordinating conjunction when we are making compound sentence. Example: she did not cheat on the test, comma, for it was the wrong thing to do. Here, she did not cheat on the test, one independent clause, then comma, then we have to put fanboys for, then another principal clause, it was the wrong thing to do. Same way, they got there early, comma, and they got really good seat. They had no ice cream left, comma, nor did they have money to go to buy from store. He was really sick, comma, but he did not go to see a doctor. Should we start class now, comma, or wait for everyone to get there? I am controlling my calories, comma, yet I really want dessert. Compound sentence creation using adverbial conjunction. What is adverbial conjunction? Adverbial conjunction function as both adverb and conjunctions. Examples are however, nevertheless, moreover, furthermore, otherwise, consequently, therefore, etc. Structure: independent clause, semicolon, adverbial conjunction, comma, second independent clause. Example: I did not read the instruction carefully, semicolon, therefore, comma, she could not assemble the bed. Here, independent clause, I didn't read the instruction carefully. Then we have to put semicolon, then adverbial conjunction, therefore, comma, then second independent clause. she could not assemble the bed. Same way, you should leave now, semicolon, otherwise, comma, you will miss the bus. Compound sentence create using semicolon. We can also make a compound sentence by using a semicolon to join two independent clauses. Structure: independent clause, semicolon, independent clause. Example: he was really sick, semicolon, he did not go to see a doctor. Here, he was really sick is first independent clause, semicolon, second independent clause, he did not go to see a doctor. Same way, the pancakes were delicious, semicolon, they were fluffy and sweet. Complex sentence. A complex sentence consists of an independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. We use subordinating conjunction unless, if, because, or relative pronoun who, which, that, etc. to make a complex sentence. Example: although it was too hot outside, he was wearing a coat. A subordinating conjunction was used here. Most people will buy the car that has the highest gas mileage. Relative pronoun is used here. Complex sentence create using subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction join a subordinate clause to main clause and establish a relationship. Example of subordinating conjunctions are after, although, as though, because, before, how, if, once, since, then, that, though, unless, until, when or whenever, where, wherever, etc. Sentence structure and punctuation. When we make complex sentence, then we have to join one independent clause and another dependent clause. If independent clause start first and dependent clause in the second, then in between we do not need to put any comma. If dependent clause come first and independent clause in second position, then we have to put comma in the middle. Example: no one left the stadium although it was raining. Here, no one left the stadium is a principal clause. Although it was raining, it was dependent clause. Here, in between, there is no comma. But same sentence, if dependent clause come first, then we have to put comma and then the principal clause. Although it was raining, comma, no one left the stadium. Same way, we cannot go outside unless the rain stops, no comma. Same sentence, unless the rain stops, comma, we cannot go outside. Complex sentence create using relative pronoun. What is relative pronoun? Relative pronoun is a pronoun used to introduce a relative clause, a clause that gives further information about the preceding noun or noun phrase. Example, the ball that I bought. Relative pronoun examples are which, that, whose, whoever, whomever, who, whom, etc. Example, I broke the table is an independent clause. That my brother bought last month, dependent clause, and that is relative pronoun. Same way, she married a man who she met during the study tour. Comparison of compound and complex sentences. Compound sentence consists of two or more independent clauses, but complex sentence consists of an independent clause and one or more dependent clause. During preparation of compound sentence, two independent clauses are joined by coordinating conjunction, adverbial conjunction, or semicolon. To prepare the complex sentence, independent clause and dependent clause are connected by subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun. Compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence is composed of at least two independent clause and one or more dependent clause. Example, though Xavier prefers watching romantic films, he rented the last spy thriller and he enjoyed it very much. Here, though Xavier prefers watching romantic films is a dependent clause, comma, he rented the latest spy thriller, one independent clause, and he enjoyed it very much, second independent clause. Same way, although he was tired, John stayed up late to finish his project and he still managed to get to work on time. Peter was lying in bed and reading a book when the dog started barking. Now test. Determine sentence types. John went to school today, but his brother remained at home. Since we had traveled a mile from camp, we decided to return before dark. This year, our vacation should be both exciting and restful. My vehicle broke down on the way, so I rented a cab. The wound on his leg, which has been treated at hospital, is healing well. Wherever you go, you will always find people like him. The man was sick because he was suffering from infection, but his weakness made it more complicated. Let's go for answer. First sentence. John went to school today, but his brother remained at home. it is a compound sentence. John went to school today, one principal clause, comma, fan voice but his brother remained at home, another principal clause. Two principal clause connected with but. It is a compound sentence. Since we had traveled a mile from camp, comma, we decided to return before dark. It is complex sentence. Since we had traveled a mile from camp, it is a subordinate clause or dependent clause, and we decided to return before dark, it's a principal clause. It is a complex sentence. This year, our vacation should be both exciting and restful. It is only one principal clause. So it is a simple sentence. My vehicle broke down on the way, comma, so I rented a cab. It is a compound sentence. My vehicle broke down on the way, one principal clause, comma, fan voice, so I rented a cab, it is another principal clause. So it is a compound sentence. The wound on his leg, comma, which has been treated at hospital, comma, is healing well. It is the wound on his leg is healing well. It is one principal clause. And which has been treated at hospital, it is subordinate clause. So that's why it is a complex sentence. Wherever you go, you will always find people like him. It is a complex sentence. Wherever you go, it is a dependent clause or subordinate clause, and you will always find people like him. It is a principal clause. That's why it is a complex sentence. The man was sick because he was suffering from infection, but his weakness made it more complicated. It is a compound sentence. Here, the man was sick, one principal clause. Because he was suffering from infection, subordinate clause, but his weakness made it more complicated, another principal clause. So minimum two principal clause and one subordinate clause. It is compound complex sentence. Thank you very much.